think before we're done with this conversation, there's going to be a whole lot more accolades for you. I can't believe how much has happened in the last 1 month that we've been talking about getting you on the show, and so much has happened that we're going to get back to.
Right. Good timing, eh?
But yes, so much to talk about. But I really, really want to start, like I alluded to when we started talking, that anybody who's coming into your story at this point would think that this is all happening overnight. Which isn't so. I looked at your discography on Spotify, and as much of the music as I could find about you, and you've been putting out music since 2014, which is incredible.
Since 20, no, 20, yeah, like 2011, writing songs. 2013, I put out, and then 2014, it kind of hit out. So yeah.
That's just remarkable. So what I want you to do, if you don't mind, just take us through what consistency and hard work or your work ethic has to do with this. Because a lot of people are hearing about you right now in Canada and the US, but of course you've been doing this for a while. So I just want you to speak to that consistency and hard work that has brought you this far.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this is not like an overnight thing. It might seem like it to a lot of people because I'm new to a lot of people. Like, people are just hearing about me for the first time in a lot of places. But yeah, I've been kicking around for quite some time. And yeah, I mean, it's been quite the journey.
Good.
And yeah.
All right. So now you won the Next Music Country Star in 2016. That must have been a big deal for you.
Huge.
Yeah, but I think it's very pivotal to all that's happening right now. So if you want to take us back to that moment where it happened, or just a little bit back before that, what were the circumstances that led you to even entering for the competition, and the moment you won, and how pivotal that win has been for you so far.
Well, like I said, I've been kicking around for some time, and I've been in the country music industry in Canada for probably like almost 10 years, close to. And I remember with the Next Country Music Star, Jane, who owns the ranch, reached out to me and said, "Hey, we're having an audition for the Next Country Music Star. We think you'd be great," so on and so forth. And so I decided to give it a shot. And lo and behold, I ended up winning. But it was quite the journey because I'm up against, male, real good, bro country acts throughout the whole competition. And I was the last gal standing, and at the finals. And when they called out my name at the end, I cried. It's a big deal.
Awesome. And how did that spark all of the stuff that we're seeing right now? How pivotal was that to all that's unfolding right now?
I think extremely pivotal because my parents were musicians. Music was always in my life from my early formative years. So, and then growing up in the environment of small town, one yellow light at the end of Main Street, one school in town. I don't even think we had police, like maybe a sheriff or something I don't know. It was just a really tiny town. And, just living like that and going to sleepovers on the farm and our friend, it's our friend's house and lots of land to run around. You got a lot of experience of just life and life in a small town. And then music, obviously, which was like 24/7 because my parents were musicians and music was just a way of life from day one. So yeah, even going into that competition, I just went with who I am and authentic to my taste for music and country music and my story. And I won.
Awesome.
And the rest is history.
Now, I've heard you say in a different interview you gave about, I think a reference was made to, about imagery and what you saw in country music, not having to see yourself in country music, but you made a very important point that you felt yourself in the songs you listened to growing up, whether it was Patsy Cline or all of the other people who pulled you into this country music genre. How would you say that? How would you describe the music you listened to growing up and how it shaped you, even though you couldn't see yourself, but how would you say, I just want you to expand on that a little bit, how you felt yourself in the stories that those music conveyed.
I don't know. Music was like, I just, when I would hear music and the way that it would make me feel, I felt like I needed to be the other person on the other end
Mm-hmm.
of that speaker. I was like, I go into La La Land and I just go into dream world, and like the way that music made me feel, or let's say Patsy Cline, and the way her voice impact or made an impression on me, I was like, gee, I'd love to, I want to be the person making that impression.
Uh-huh.
And it really just resonated in my soul.
Now we're going to talk about your album right now, your EP right now, The Best Thing. Now you've been making music for a while now. I've seen a bunch of stuff that you've put out, which is very impressive. What about this record do you think is pulling people to the sound that you've crafted for also many years? What about this record do you think people are relating to and is giving you this critical acclaim in Canada and the US?
I feel like this EP in particular is kind of a fresh sound on the country music scene. It's a unique sound to me, and that I represent as an artist. And I think it's a little bit different. And I think that's what's kind of fallen fresh on the ears of the listeners and some of the new fans.
Okay, and how was that decision made? No, I know Standards is doing like really great and all of that, but if you just want to tell us a little bit about Standards and just the message of the song, in that, if you could expand a little bit on the album and the creative process, I just want to know, because I've listened to it for the last little while that we've been trying to get you on here, and it's such a, like you said, such a fresh sounding record, but I just want to go through the creative process and how you guys wrapped up all the songs that are on there.
Well, so this whole project was interesting because, like I said, I'm used to writing my own material and singing my own material, but this project I went out on a limb, and the song Standards came from Emily, Karen Gazowski, and Mackenzie Porter. And when I heard it, I was like, that resonates with me, because even when I was doing the school tour shows, a lot of the music was inspirational, impactful and motivational.
Okay.
And when I heard Standards, it still resonated that way because of this message. Again, having standards, having values, but in a fun kind of swaggy, pop country vibe that appeals to a general audience. So that song immediately just caught me. I was like, this song is gonna be special.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask, well, how do you define? I saw a very interesting post on your Instagram page about you. I think you made reference to open the door, pull out the chair, or something like standards. Like how would you define standards coming from a dude to you? Oh, TikTok. Well, how would you define? What are the lists of your standards? For what are your standards?
To have standards, like there's certain things that you value, and that you won't compromise. Anybody, right? Then you got to find somebody who values your values, if that makes sense. So it's kind of it's just having respect for yourself. Even just for can go for guys or for girls. That list of what's ideal for you and not compromising on it. And really just staying true and authentic to your desires for your person or your significant other.
You opened up for some really, really amazing people, and you've shared the stage with a bunch of fun people. Some people who are making a real impact in the Canadian country music scene. I just want to get a sense of, I suppose there's some of these people you looked up to or you admired their work before you got to this point in your career. I just want to get a taste of how that makes you feel at this point. And the flip side to that is how you think you're making an impression on people who would be looking up to you right now, for people who want to get into music and all of that. So just a double-sided question.
Well, in terms of people that I had the honor to, artists that I've had the honor to open up on for shows and be in their company, it was a big deal for me. Like anytime I got, I'm like, oh, I'm opening up for Brett Kissel, or I'm opening up for Dean Brody, or I'm opening up for Tess Moskowitz, or Madeline Lowe, or whoever, you know, or I'm sharing the bill with Terry Clark, or, you know, that meant everything to me, because like it's really, for me, a dream come true as an indie artist. So that was a big deal. And then playing like Boots and Hearts, or, you know, Havelock Country Jamboree, or other festivals, again, was a big deal because I've always dreamed about it. And then to see myself actually living those moments was huge. And then when people who have followed my journey since like the school tour days, where I was performing in you know, schools up until, it's kind of cool because I'm seeing the reaction, and I think that people are just as floored as I am, but at the same time encouraged, because they've, like I said, this is not overnight. They've been with me since the very beginning, you know, and all of a sudden CMT and all these cool things, iHeart, Future Radio Star shows up, and they're like, I think that gives fuel to anybody else's fire who has a dream or has a goal, and is willing to put in the hard work and be patient. And I think I can encourage that and be represent perseverance, and hanging on to your dreams and your goals.
I hear you. So again, there's just so much sides to you. I think, you know, when I see you, I see a huge smile on your face, and there's just this effervescence that comes off of you. Especially when you're on stage and you're performing. Like, again, I know that you've done this for a while, but it just feels like you've been doing it for much longer than you've been doing it, right? Like, I know you said you've done it for 10 years, but it feels like you've been doing it for 20 years or 30 years. Like, how did you get to hone that stage presence that you have? Did that just come naturally to you?
Well, the 10-year thing was like me going out, like saying, okay, this is it, I'm doing music, you know, but I've always been a part of music, even before then, in some way or another. And when and to hone my craft, like I said, like I would stand in front of a mirror for like 3 hours a day and play guitar and sing, you know. And then I took up a vocal coach who's like, she is amazing. And so I work with her, and like I was relentless. It was relentless.
I hear you. So now, I've spoken to a bunch of people who would say, "Oh, I love writing. I love putting lyrics on paper. You know, I go into the studio when I record, and that's just the time." And there are people who would say, "Okay, I love when I get out on tour and with the fans and all of that." But what part of the music creating process would you say is your favorite?
It's all together lovely. All of the elements are lovely, but when you get up on a stage and you get to connect with people afterwards,
Okay.
that's probably, that's money. That's like, that's where it all hits you. Is when you get to connect with the people that you made this gift for. Because that's what it's all about, is connecting with people.
Okay.
For me personally.
And if, okay, that's a very good way to segue into the conversation of COVID-19 and the pandemic and how it has limited artists from performing and being in close proximity with their fans. So the question would be, what has this time meant to you in terms of reinforcing your commitment to your craft and all of that? What has it done to you, the pandemic and your inability to get close to your fans?
It's a weird thing, because I feel I feel really connected right now, even though I shouldn't. Besides the fact that, you know, I got to keep 2 meters apart, or not even have a meet and greet after a show. I'm feeling oddly enough connected, and I think it's got to do with making a way where there seems to be no way, which means, okay, we can't talk to people in person or have a show in person, then we're going to live online, you know, which is quite easy for a lot of us to do because it's where we spend most of our time online.
Uh-huh.
So making a way where there seems to be a way, whether it's virtual. I mean, the comments, I'm commenting to everybody, like, hey, everyone who joined, thanks for joining. And I see your comments and you guys are amazing. And again, like comments on my socials, I'm there. I hear you. They hear me back. So I feel really connected, oddly enough, during COVID.
The journey, I'm sure, hasn't been all rosy. There were times where you were down, and there were times where you thought, none of this would come through. But if you were to go back to the start of your journey, what would you tell a young Sasha about all that has happened so far?
What would I tell young Sasha? I would say, I would definitely say, just keep what Dory would say in Nemo. Just keep swimming. Hang on, like, just have faith, and you have no idea what's waiting for you on the other side. So.
Awesome. So a lot of buzz about the best thin and standards is doing very well. Cheers, actually, which brings me to the question. So there's a video out for Cheers, which was superbly done, by the way. So congratulations on that. It just looks mint. It looks really good. Is there a video in the works for Standard?
It's there's a lot of things in the work for Standard. Actually, it's percolating, talking about a remix, talking about a video. So it's like, it's there's a lot of things kind of percolating right now.
Okay, you're being tight-lipped about it?
Slightly.
Okay. Okay. Where do we go from here? I know that's almost a question that's almost preemptive and just jumping into the future, but I think it's a fair enough question to ask. So much is happening right now, but are you working on new music? What's happening in your life right now?
Well, like I'm just letting this EP simmer, and some more creative ideas and content on this EP. But yeah, I've already started writing. I've already been writing, and like we were saying, like I do have a story, and I have a journey, and I'm looking forward to sharing some of that in song in the future. It's still keeping it fun and still engaging my listeners and my fans.
I hear you. Okay, so now most people I know can engage with you on Instagram, and I have been on your website, but where are the other means that we can consume your stuff that you're making? Just let us know, point us in the right direction.
Every digital streaming platform online. So we got Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon Music, YouTube. My music videos there, cmt.com right now, and CMT schedule, where Cheers has been on rotation, added to rotation. My Facebook fan book page, which is just Sasha, Sacha, or you can probably find the links to my socials from my Instagram. I'm sure you'll probably leave something up. Twitter,
Okay, I just saw a question before I let you go. There's a question in the chat saying, "Do you write your own music?"
I write my own music. I write music, and with this recently released EP, I have no problems singing other people's music, having music pitched to me. That's proven to be a good thing, a good news when it comes to this EP. But I do write as well.
Awesome. I hope we have answered that question. But Sasha, it's been fantastic to talk to you. Again, I think the purpose of why we do this here is just to celebrate people who are very next door to us. And you're here from Ontario. You're doing us proud here in Canada and also in the US and getting a lot of buzz. We want to celebrate you, want to congratulate you on your efforts and all that you have done so far. We wish you nothing but success as you go along. We're going to pull a front seat and watch your career even as you go much higher. So congratulations again. We wish you the best. We just wish you the best going forward.
Thank you. you. I've never seen. Thank you so much.
No worries, man. No worries. We'll keep talking, okay?
I appreciate it. Thanks everyone for joining us.
No problem. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye everyone.